Hi, I'm Tony Bellamy, and welcome to Just Coolin, where bebop meets hip-hop and hip-hop meets bebop and the many flavors of jazz. On every show, we pay tribute to past jazz greats, but this artist, Ornette Coleman, was always in the present, never resting on his music laurels. Ornette Coleman was a multi-talented saxophonist, violinist, trumpeter, and composer. He was born in 1930 in Fort Worth, Texas. He was the innovator of the avant-garde or free jazz movement. Ornette attended I.M. Terrell High School, where future jazz stars Dewey Redman, King Curtis, Charles Moffett, and Julius Hemphill also graduated. Ornette played in the high school band, but was kicked out when he started to improvise. So Ornette, seeking a way to leave town in 1949, joined the Silas Green R&B traveling show in New Orleans. While on tour, Ornette was thrown out of the band and was beaten by the band members for playing strangely. As you can hear, Ornette Coleman heard jazz differently, but at first his early work was similar to Charlie Parker, following the innovator of bebop. Ornette heard the music and played jazz in a non-traditional flow. He believed that musicians could play in harmony, even in different keys at the same time, with structure. So next, Ornette moved to Los Angeles in 1953 to play with an R&B leader, Pee Wee Crayton, still searching. Also in 1954, he bought a white plastic alto saxophone because he couldn't afford a metal one. Ornette's crying, raw, and gut bucket sound was regarded by many musicians as being out of tune. Mr. Coleman's approach to the music was to operate with his own sense of time or harmony that wasn't rigid. In 1958, Coleman had his first recording session, the album Something Else, the music of Ornette Coleman, with like-minded musicians, drummer Billy Higgins, trumpeter Don Cherry, bassist Don Payne, and Walter Norris on piano. 1959 was a productive year, a breakthrough for Ornette Coleman. He recorded Tomorrow Is the Question with a quartet without a piano, once again with Don Cherry, Billy Higgins, and bassist Charlie Hayden. Ornette's music split the jazz community, with both critics and jazz musicians declaring the music was crazy. Coleman then went to New York City to play at the famous Five Spot Jazz Club, where he got criticism and support. Miles Davis stated Coleman's music is all screwed up, and trumpeter Roy Eldridge said he thinks Coleman is jiving with the music. But he received support from composer Leonard Bernstein and Lionel Hampton. Both supported Ornette Coleman, and Hampton even offered to play with Coleman in the quartet. Ornette Coleman's music was dividing the jazz world, but to me, I would call Ornette Coleman's music conversations, where everyone has a say at the same time with harmony. Joseph Zawinul called Ornette Coleman's music nobody solos and everybody solos. And Ornette Coleman defined his music best, harmolodics or group improvisations. Ornette said, "I don't want musicians to follow me. I want them to follow themselves, but to be with me." In 1960, Coleman recorded Free Jazz, a collective improvisation that featured a double quartet, including Don Cherry, Eric Dolphy, Freddie Hubbard, Charlie Hayden, and Scott LaFaro. You see, what was different was each instrument was recorded and isolated in each stereo channel, and Free Jazz was a 40 continuous minutes long. Free jazz became a new genre, which Coleman cringed at the term. Coleman continued to create, embrace, and collaborate his avant-garde music by playing the violin and trumpet, and he expanded that with strings. He recorded with strings in Skies of America in 1972. In 1976, Coleman recorded jazz fusion just like Miles Davis with the album Dancing in Your Head. Coleman also collaborated with Jerry Garcia in 1988, the album Virgin Beauty, and then the Grateful Dead on stage, followed by Pat Metheny with Songs X in 1985. Coleman even recorded and checked hip-hop in 1995 with the album Tone Dialing, a successful debut with a rapper, and I must say it was very good. In the 2000s, Coleman received numerous awards. 2001 International Art Award from Japan, 2007 Grammy Lifetime Award, and 2009 Miles Davis Award. How ironic. Ornette Coleman's music over the years has been embraced by jazz, rock, hip-hop, country, and the art world. The man who heard music on a slant and developed the free jazz movement was no doubt a musical genius and a true believer that jazz is personal. Up next, more music here on WJAZ. Let the music play.